Hello. Welcome to our second set of initial thoughts on Knights of the Frozen Throne, the new Hearthstone expansion set to be released very soon. We have a whole bunch of cards that were announced. We talked about the first set about 2 weeks ago, so now it's time to wade in and talk about the second set. As per usual on our Hearthstone stuff, everyone say hello to Cory.
I hate Blizzard. I don't know why I keep coming back to this show.
Yeah, pretty much. So, as with last time, we'll be giving our initial thoughts. This is not our final set review. We will be going through and rating these cards, doing a full set review once all the cards are announced, and we can kind of get a better sense of what the meta will look like because of new synergies that are announced and cards that work. That being said, we will talk about our initial thoughts on these cards and essentially what we think that they're going to be, where we feel about the design, and if we think they're pretty terrible, in which case a lot of them are, we will be saying that. So let's start with the first Druid card, the first Druid epic that's been announced, the Fate Spinner, which is a 5-mana 5/5. Choose a Death Rattle secretly, deal 3 damage to all minions, or give all of your minions +2. Wait a minute.
No, it's give them plus
Give
two,
all
plus
minions +2/2?
All minions.
Oh, wow, this is even worse than I thought.
Yeah. Let me start off by saying I love the concept of secretly choosing a death rattle. They could use the word secretly on battle cries. It's like a pick one. They could use it all around. And I think that mechanic is awesome, so I will compliment Blizzard on that. This specific card, though, is awful. It's not going to be good in Constructed, and certainly not going to be good in Arena. The fact that it's deal 3 damage to all, or all minions get +2/+2 just doesn't make any sense on either side of it, in my opinion. It's just I'm very excited about this mechanic, but I'm not excited about this specific one, this card.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mechanic is really cool. I like the idea of having some secret hidden information from your opponent. That being said, the problem is the two things are so absurdly different, where like deal 3 damage to all minions. So you want to do that when your opponent has a big board. Give all minions +2/+2. You want to do this when you have a big board. You really can't be wrong here on which one you pick.
Bluffing. Yeah, as you said, there's no bluffing here. Your opponent's going to know if they have the board advantage what the death rattle is going to be, and vice versa. Like, there's no bluffing with this type of effect.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and also it's a 5/3, and 3 health is terrible on turn 5. I don't know. I like the mechanic. I think the card's pretty bad. I mean, maybe there's some stuff you can do with this, but I really doubt it. I think this card's just a cool mechanic, bad card.
Agreed.
Moving on to the second Druid card, we have the, how do you want to pronounce this? Hadronox?
Hadronox. I don't remember it being in Lich King content. It might have been in like Northrend. No, it wasn't Northrend. It just wasn't an ICC. Yeah, the mini boss. Yep.
I didn't play WoW, so I don't know. It's a 9-mana 3/7 beast. Death Rattle, summon your taunt minions that died this game. So basically like a taunt N'Zoth for 1 less mana. But it's a Death Rattle. On initial thought, I thought this card was really cool. The more I've thought about it, the more I think this card's actually terrible. A 3/7 Death Rattle is really bad because you're never going to kill this. Like, why would your opponent ever do damage to this? It has 7 health, which is a lot. 3 attack means it's kind of immaterial. They can just ignore it.
Well, it has taunt, so...
No, it doesn't have taunt.
Oh, never mind. I read the words. Okay,
no,
go on.
It does not have taunt. If it had taunt, then it'd be interesting. I mean, I like the concept of bringing your taunt minions back. We've seen, like, how good N'Zoth can be in Wild when you have things like Sludge Belcher, but I don't know. Plus, there are really no good taunt minions in Druid right now. My understanding is this card does not work with Ancient of War. I could be wrong about that, and that would change things a little bit, but my understanding is because Ancient of War is not a, comes into battle as not a taunt because you have to choose one, it wouldn't. If that's the case, then this card, I just don't see it. I mean, what are you bringing back? Ironbark Protector and Druid of the Claw? No, not even Druid of the Claw. You wouldn't even get that. Like, Ironbark Protector, that seems like a lot of work. And then, again, this is such a non-threatening card. Like, you're basically saying to your opponent, hey, I played a 3-attack minion on turn 9. Go do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, there's no core to build a deck based on this card, which is a bit... So I'd say this is a card maybe to keep an eye out for. And there might be a version that runs this way down the line before it gets rotated out, but we're not there yet. And as you
God
said,
forbid this was a warrior card.
Yeah, but I mean, playing a 3 attack minion on turn 9 is pretty bad. So at best case scenario, you have like a win more thing going on for yourself because you have the board control where playing a 3 mana 9 cost is okay. Oh, sorry, a 3 attack 9 cost is okay. But if you're behind or even with your opponent, this doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it might be a little better in Wild because of like how good the synergy with N'Zoth and Sludge Belcher is. Because this brings you back more Sludge Belchers, and then N'Zoth brings back the Sludge Belcher. Like that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. That seems a little silly to me.
Right.
So moving on from Druid, we haven't gotten that money. We now have a Hunter card that people are very excited about. The 3 mana Bear Shark, 3 mana 4/3, can't be targeted by spells and hero powers, and it's a beast. I don't know. This is a card I think is really hard to rate at this moment. I mean, until we see what the meta is going to look like. It does have a lot of potential power. I mean, it's hard to remove. It's a can't be targeted by spells and heroes powers, which is kind of underrated. We've seen it sometimes. It doesn't really do much, but it does line up very well with Houndmaster. And it's a beast, which helps out a lot, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know what Hunter is going to actually be doing right now. So I kind of think this is a remain to be seen kind of card.
Just the standalone card, it's phenomenal. This card in both constructed and arena. Play a 3 mana 4 attack minion with no drawbacks is so good because it can trade into every single thing your opponent has. And
Are you
with
playing this over Animal Companion? Don't say absolutely, because it's not an absolutely. You might, but it's not an absolutely.
It's maybe I could play 2 Animal Companions in one this, or vice versa, 2 this, 1 Animal Companion, and well, we don't know because there's Kill Command. There's a lot of 3 drops and Unleash the Hound. So there's a lot of 3 drops Hunter uses.
Evil Horn Bow.
Yeah. So I mean, again, in arena, this is a must draft, easily a must draft. And it's a common. The Beast tag on it kind of is okay, but you can't Dinomancy it, or so that's a problem, I guess. But no one's gonna be playing.
Dinomancy's not a very good card anyway.
I think it's really good. The stats are really solid, and I think maybe it allows just variety on deck construction if Hunter does rebound. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is going to be in the new what's it called? Zombie Beast, right? You could probably use it. It's a beast.
So?
Doesn't that mean that you could build a beast with it?
Wait, Build a Beast only uses cards from your deck?
No, Build a Beast uses all beasts in the game.
Yeah, okay, so that's cute, but why would you put this in your deck then?
No, well, I'm stating the card existing as a whole.
Okay, yeah, sure. It's a decent, can't be targeted. Yeah, all right, that's fine. I mean, that's pretty fringe, but okay.
Not really. I mean, it does.
I'm just saying it's not going to come up enough. It's the number of games this comes up.
I'm saying, nevertheless, it buffs Deathstalker Rexar.
Sure.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does.
Okay. I think it's a very solid card, and keep an eye out for it.
Next up, we have the Abomination Archer, which is a 7 mana 6/7 Death Rattle summon a random friendly beast that died this game. It's a 100 Death Rattle. They've been printing a lot of those, but it's a 7 mana 6/7. And it's a 7 mana card.
If they push this constructed Hunter meta towards a control later game thing, this card's phenomenal. If we can't get there, then okay, in constructed you're not going to really see it, or it is what it is. But again, I got to go on the other side of the coin.
If Swamp King Dread saw no play, this is going to see play?
The stats are very good. 7/6/7 is pretty good, especially with
that
effect.
A 7/6/7 is good now? When did that happen?
No. With that effect.
The only problem with this effect for me is that you're still you're running Jeweled Macaw, you're probably running Alley Cat, which means that there's a very fair chance you're getting a 1/1.
Well, it really depends. I mean, there's a few Death Rattles. There's a Savannah High Main and stuff like that.
I mean, yes, if you get High Main, this card's insane. I'm just saying that, let's say there's a fair chance that a decent number of your beats are going to, I don't know if you're running, but, if you're running Rat Pack, I don't know. I think we're gonna really see what the deck looks like. I
You know what's funny? In Wild, this is insane with Feign Death.
yeah, but okay. I mean, I'm gonna continue to say though, like, it's a
Wild.
7-mana card that doesn't do anything on the turn it's played. I don't really care. Those cards are never good.
Just on the flip side, again, I know you don't really care as much, but I like to mention anyway, this is a very good Arena card. I think Hunter is back in Arena. If
It is an
there's
epic
people-
though, so this one's not as big a deal in Arena.
Sure, but you're gonna see epics, and this is one that you would definitely draft, a must draft.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have the Hunter Legendary Professor Putricide. Now, Cory and I have had a few discussions about this card. It is a 4-mana 5/4. After you play a secret, put a random Hunter secret into the battlefield. This card looks incredible. Like, it's just so weird looking. And I like the design. I think that, like, you're kind of going more towards this Secret Hunter thing, which we've seen a few times. That being said, I don't know. Like, it to me seems a little... It's a lot of mana. Like, you have to play... Like, you need 6 mana to play this card and 1 secret. And then for that, you're getting 1 free Hunter secret. And Hunter secrets aren't that good.
Here's where Mark and I disagree. And people can think about this all they want. I'm on the boat where you don't... Like, I think Lyra is a different story. But I think you could just play this on turn 4 and just end your turn, and you'll be fine. It's a fine turn 4. If it survives and you have secrets in your hand, phenomenal. But I think it's just a good card to play on turn 4 as is, and then if it survives, it survives.
I do not think that's true. You're not playing... I mean, like, when you could Houndmaster something, or do any of the other things. I don't know. Why are you playing... Like, a 5/4 is fine, but it's 4 health, which is not that good. It gets, like... killed by True Silver. It gets killed by a lot of things. I don't know.
I think the verdict, the jury's still out until if we see if they introduce any more Hunter secrets.
Yeah, I mean, this to me, this needs a really good Hunter secret to come into play, and then I could push it over the top. I'm looking at Hunter right now, and yes, Hunter's not very good, but like no one's really running. Like maybe you're running Freezing Trap, maybe. Like this is not. I don't think this effect is good enough to justify putting secrets in your deck that you weren't putting in already. Like, it's definitely not as good as, say, Mysterious Challenger.
Of course. Well, no shit. But, like,
But even Challenger, as soon as Avenge went away, the card disappeared.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, other versions of Hunter still, you know, back in the day, when it called for it, ran Freezing and Explosive Trap. So, you know.
I mean, sure, but I don't know. Yeah. It's just... I understand Lyra exists and people are like this kind of feels like Lyra, and I was very wrong about Lyra, but I'm gonna kind of stick to my guns. I don't think this card's that great.
I'm on the boat where I would not be surprised either way. If it ends up being a really good card, okay, that makes sense to me. If it ends up not being played, it makes sense to me too.
Next up, we move on to Mage, and we have the Mage Cold Wraith. 3-mana 3/4 Battle Cry. If an enemy is frozen, draw a card. I'm just gonna say, hold out. We have to see what the meta is gonna look like. This card's insane if you have something frozen. But we'll see what the meta is gonna be like. I can't really judge this card before that.
Yep.
Insane arena card.
Yeah, it's a good arena card. A really good arena card. I'm also on the boat too that you still have low cost freezes with Mage just being Frostbolt, but. Hey, that's, you know, you're waiting until turn 5 for that, like, combo right there, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Frostbolt's probably good enough. Like, this might just be good enough with just Frostbolt, but we'll see. I think it depends on what Mage is looking like a little bit. Obviously, insane in Freeze Mage, but...
Imagine this card existing when Ice Lance was still around.
Yeah, but then again, the thing is, you're never using Ice Lance to freeze. Yeah. Like, it's the best burn spell ever, like...
Sure.
Next up from Mage, did we see the Ghastly No, we didn't see this. The Ghastly Conjurer, 4-mana 2/6 Battle Cry. Add a mirror image spell to your hand. I don't really see why you would play this card. I think you do.
Here's the thing: 4/2/6 is fine stat wise as long as you have an effect. The effect add a mirror image to your hand. I don't know if there's like a way you could get like. Tempo Mage, and hear me out here. Instead of running Flamewalker, you run the other one that wasn't rotated out that freezes when you play low cost spells.
Which is such a bad card, but
Sure, but like, let's say they introduce low cost spells. Now they have that card where something's frozen, you draw a card. Maybe, who knows? Again, the verdict's out on this card too. I think at the surface it doesn't look good yet, but it might make its way into the meta soon.
2/6 is very low impact, and I just think that this card competes with Water Elemental so much because like adding a mirror image spell to your hand is kind of in a similar vein of like, oh, you can kind of like lock out a minion for a turn. And
it's good. I mean, is it good against like face decks, like where you could like next?
Mage isn't running mirror image anyway, and it's a 2/6. Like Water Elemental's better.
You're not gonna run it. You're not gonna run it a mirror image straight up because it takes up deck spot and my mage.
If you're playing a face deck, you want this or you want Senjin?
Yeah, I guess
I want Senjin. I'd rather a taunt.
Yeah. Right.
Because if the mirror image was free, it'd be fine, but it's not. Like, you then still have to pay a mana for a mirror image.
Right.
Next up, I believe this is going to be Cory's favorite art of the entire set. I'm just going to let you introduce this one.
Alrighty. I know everyone watching this knows, and Mark doesn't, because Mark's the only human being in history that plays Hearthstone without playing WoW. This is Cinder Gosa.
I'm not the only person in history of that, but okay.
You're definitely in the minority here.
Okay.
Cinder Gosa, the Lich King's pet dragon, possibly my favorite dragon in all of video games even. 8 mana, 8/8, battle cry, summon 2/0/1 frozen champions, which have a 0/1 battle cry, death rattle, that puts a random legendary minion in your hand. This is the first card that made me excited about Knights of the Frozen Throne. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Yes. This is the best card we've seen, I think.
I don't think it's the best card, and we will get to why. You'll get to the card. I think
there is another card that's very good, but definitely at the time, this was the best card that was announced.
And it's just an exciting effect. It may see play, it may not see play, but every deck that wants to have a fun deck is going to run it. Casino Mage is going to run it. It's just a card that should belong, and it's such a good card to add. And I think it's the best Mage Legendary we've seen since Archmage Antonidas.
That's not a high bar, but yeah.
Well, I mean, no, you had Rohan. You had...
all right, yeah, Rohan saw some play. Flame Leviathan didn't, but... That was a bad card. That was a funny bad card.
Which one?
Flame Leviathan.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone, it's a meme. It's such a bad card, it's a meme.
I know. No, I think this is actually a ridiculously powerful card. One, it's got great N'Zoth synergy because of these Frozen Champions come back with N'Zoth. And Mage already kind of has a bit of a N'Zoth shell that you can run with a couple of things, Pyros, being one of them. And then to add to that, it's a dragon, and I mean, Cory and I kind of talked through, like, could you make a Dragon Mage deck? I think you can, especially considering this is going to be the only Mage Dragon in Standard. Now, despite Historian, we've seen what happens with Dragonite Operative. Like, you're getting this, like, 40% of the time or something like that. It just becomes insane. Like, you basically can run this, and like this is your only real late game thing. It generates some random legendaries, which is powerful. Plus you have another Spite Historian, which can make probably generate you another one. Like, this is pretty incredible. So I really like this card. I think this card is very powerful. I think that there's definitely a Dragon Mage in Wild, 100%. I think there's probably a Dragon Mage in Standard because of this card.
I believe Dragon Mage will exist. I don't believe not yet. I mean, I might change my mind once the entire set's released. I don't think the Zoth will be in the deck.
We'll see. Zoth's good though. If Chilmaw was still here, it'd definitely be in the deck.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's Mage. Now we move on to Paladin. We already talked about Chilbane Champion, so now we have Light Sorrow. I actually did not see this card. This is the first time I'm looking at it. It is a 4-mana 1/4. After a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gets gain +1 attack.
Boo!
Oh, so this is similar to the Legendary. This card's stupid. We're not even going to talk about it.
Wait. We are talking... We're obviously seeing right now with this and the new Paladin Legendary, which we're about to get to, that this is something they're making a mechanic on. Now, what if every single Paladin card released has some form of give Divine Shield, take away Divine... What if, like, they actually build this entire set around Divine Shield Paladin being a thing?
True
Would you
Silver
change your
Champion
mind?
is one of the best cards in the history of Hearthstone. You're never running a card over a 4-mana weapon that's not True Silver Champion. Maybe, I mean, obviously, again, this is the initial thoughts. There's a possibility that this card fits into the set so well. I don't, right now, no. There's, new cards need to be introduced before I'm even remotely considering this card.
I know, 100%. And again, this is the initial. And right now, we're rating the card. So right now, I'm going to say it's trash, and we should, go over it. But obviously, with this and the Legendary introduced the exact same day, they're trying to. I wouldn't be surprised if the Paladin meta you see is going to be Divine Shield Paladin.
Joy.
And there's a lot of ways to get
favorite thing in the history of Hearthstone has been Divine Shield Paladin decks.
Here's the thing: if you get this weapon up to 3, it's a 4 durability, 3/4 4-mana. It's good. That right there, it's phenomenal. Actually, I'd even say a 4 durability weapon is really good, and you could use it a lot, and it just could get stronger and ramp up before it gets destroyed. If they add things that make it, they're going all in on it, then I have the right to change my mind, and we'll talk about this when the set comes out. But right now, it's trash. I agree.
Yeah. And then I think the next card we're just going to be saying exactly the same thing, which is the Paladin Legendary Bolvar Fireblood. This card is, I mean, as of right now, it's terrible. Maybe it becomes a thing because Divine Shield is such a mechanic in this meta, but right now, no. Agreed?
Right now, Yep.
Moving on to Priest, has not had any new cards released, so we're going to ignore that. Now we have Rogue. First up, the Plague Scientist, a 3-mana 2/3 combo, give a friendly minion poisonous. I don't think this card is good.
I think it's great. I think it's good, just the word good and constructed, and I think it's broken in Arena. Broken.
I mean, yeah, I think it's ridiculous in Arena, fine, but in constructed, I'm not playing this card.
I disagree with you. I believe Tempo Rogue is coming back, and this is a phenomenal card in Tempo Rogue.
It is?
Yes,
Why?
100%. Because
The 3-mana 2/3.
giving something poisonous in a Tempo Rogue is really good. Like it's a fit. It's all about value removal, and they have like I could see Rogue turning into this like assassination deck where like they have the best hard removal in the game, like the absolute best hard removal in the game, and then you'll see Tempo Rogue be back.
Cool. I don't. Moving on to the next card, we have Vampiric Poison, which is 2 mana, give your weapon lifesteal. Why is this card 2 mana?
Why? A lot of things.
Would I play this card on 1 mana? No.
Unless they introduce a weapon with like a lot of durability, like, and it's like a relatively cheap weapon. Not cheap weapon. Like a good weapon. It's a good statted weapon that has like a decent attack and a good durability. I'd argue there's maybe a chance, and I still wouldn't say yes. This card sucks.
I wouldn't put it on a Fiery War Axe.
No, yeah, I wouldn't either. Yeah, it's pretty trash.
Because here's the thing. To me, it's as simple as this. If this effect was good, you'd play the card that makes your hero immune during your turn in Rogue, and you don't, so the card's terrible.
Yep.
That is it on the Rogue cards. Next, we have the Shaman card, the Icebreaker, the 3-mana 1/3, destroy any frozen minions damaged by this. I'm going to say the same thing I said about the Paladin weapon. We need to see what Shaman looks like. We need to see how many freeze effects for Shaman are introduced. If there's enough freeze effects introduced, this card's pretty powerful. If there are not, this card is utter trash. So there's not really much to say right now. Do you agree?
Yep.
Next up, we have the other card from Paladin, which is a freeze effect. The 5-mana 2/7 taunt, freeze any character damaged by this minion. I think this card's actually pretty interesting. I mean, it's in the same. It's similar to Ally Armorsmith in that it's a 5-mana 2/7 taunt that has a potentially powerful effect. You know, that one gave you a little bit of armor. This one freezes minions. Both kind of similar. And that card's pretty good. So I think this card's actually pretty good.
Great. Yep. And obviously, I mentioned this to you earlier, and for anyone else that's like Mark and never played Lich King, there are 3 specs you can go with Death Knight, Frost, Blood, and Unholy. And I'm telling you, every class is going to look like one. And I think Frost is going to Shaman. You're going to see Frost Shaman, the meta. That's going to be the meta that comes out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next up we have, there's nothing released for Warrior yet, so now we have Warrior. We have the Blood Razor, which is the Warrior 4-mana weapon. It looks like a lot of 4-mana weapons. Battlecry and Death Rattle deal 1 damage to all minions. It is a 2/2. This is a very interesting card. I really like the design on it. I think that it's nice to see a card that's in a similar vein to Deathspite, but not, ridiculously broken like Deathspite was. That said, I'm not 100% sold on the power level of this card. It's kind of, I don't know, but I guess it's kind of like a 4-mana 3/2 weapon.
I like it a lot because you have more control over it than you do with Deathbite, if that makes sense to you. Like, you can dictate when you want the battle cry to go off, and then you know that the death rattle's coming, so if everything goes right with you, you could dictate when the death rattle goes off. So I think that's very strong. I mean, I still obviously would take Deathspite over this, but this is a very suitable replacement for Deathspite.
I don't know about suitable replacement. And also, obviously, Patron is gone, which hurts, because this card would be really, really good in Patron decks.
Sure, but there's Armor Smith, there's Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that can make use of this. I'm just a little skeptical of a 2/2 weapon for 4 being... It's kind of... Because it kind of is like a 4-mana 3/2 weapon because of the Whirlwind effects. So, like, you need to be making use of the Whirlwind effects, like, positively for yourself if you want this to be good. And we'll see how many Whirlwind or how many like what Warrior is doing in terms of like Armor Smiths and Frothing Berserkers. Like, if those cards are seeing play, then this card's pretty good in those decks. If those cards aren't seeing play, it's pretty bad. So we'll see. I think this card's pretty meta dependent. Next up, we have the Warrior card Mountain Fire Armor, the 3-mana 4/3 Death Rattle. If it's your opponent's turn, gain 6 armor. I think this card's incredibly cool. This is one of the coolest cards I think Hearthstone's ever had. The design on it's amazing, and it's really powerful. I really like this card.
Great card. Absolutely phenomenal card. This would be really good to bring back the old classic style of control Warrior that we all know and remember. So I think this is a card that steps in the right direction. And then again, 3/4/3 is phenomenally statted, and this Death Rattle.
Why is this a 4/3?
No, it's phenomenal. 3/4/3, good.
With a
3/4/3
really powerful effect, plus an amazing like mind games of like, okay, do you kill this or do you just take the damage? Like,
and there's no doubt in my mind this is overstated and definitely above the power.
This seems pretty incredible. I mean, maybe if there's enough taunts in the game, but like, I don't know. I guess the only issue with this card is it does match up very poorly with what's it called? Tar Creeper. That's the only weakness to this card, is that it's hard countered by Tar Creeper.
Absolutely.
But other than that, this card's incredible.
Right.
Now we have the Warrior card that I've been having the most fun with, which is Bring It On. So here's what I'm going to say about Bring It On. I love how this card looks. It's really cool. The flavor is incredible. This is my pick for the worst card in the history of Hearthstone. I think this card is utter trash. I don't know why the hell they made a card this bad. Reducing the cost of minions in your opponent's hands by 2 is insane. Innervate's a great card. This potentially gives your opponent like a couple of Innervates. Everyone who I've been arguing with people on Reddit about this card, and they're like, oh, well, you play this, and then they're stupid and dump their entire hand, and then you brawl, and it's like, no, that's not a thing. This is not a reducing cards in your opponent's hand are not a bonus. I really
Here's the thing.
hate this card.
I agree. This is one of the worst cards in this set right now, other than the actual meme one. But this is not the worst card in the history of Hearthstone. There are things that go in its card's advantage. It only reduces the cost of minions, so that's a plus. There's plenty of times where your opponent only has spells or
it's
not
less
a
of
lot
a
cards.
negative. It's not a plus.
It's less than a negative, but it happens. If this card was just minions and then you put a period there, then yes, it's awful, absolutely awful. But the fact that it's just minions is better. The fact that it's 2 mana is good because it's something that can be comboed with a lot of things, including Brawl.
What do you mean comboed with Brawl? How do you combo this with Brawl?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, because they would play it on their next turn. Never mind. I take that back. I thought of Dirty Rat for some reason. I don't know why I thought of Dirty Rat.
Dirty Rat, this is not.
I know. But what I'm saying is, I would not be shocked based on what the meta looks like that you see this in Control Warrior. I wouldn't be shocked.
This card reads 2 mana, lose the game against Paladin. This card reads 2 mana, lose the game against Priest. This card reads 2 mana, probably lose the card against Druid. Like, I have no idea why you would ever play this card. Like,
again, Control Warrior is reactive with reactive tools. If your opponent chooses next turn to, yeah, as you said, the example you kept giving when we first talked about this card was if it only reduces 2 minions, that's like a double ticked Emperor Thorazine. So then, fine. Then they play their ultra reduced cost minions, and they still have they had a good turn. It's true. As a warrior, you could brawl that next turn, or you could use Shield Slam, or you find a way to attack execute it. Like, does a warrior really care if an opponent just dumps their hand? Like, no.
It's not usually but the thing is, yes, you're right in terms of dumping your opponent's hand, but there's also like a lot of little things that you can't, like with Priest. If they get to play Lyra for 2 less mana, that's like an extra couple of spells they get to cast. Like, that's incredible. Like, that could be that's the difference.
Absolutely, but this is a card that you're not gonna rush to play against Priest unless you get a really good read on them. I agree.
And then
with
the
that.
opportunity cost of that, you're just like holding a 2 mana card. So I don't know. I just can't. I just cannot see a world where you're willing to reduce the cost of your opponent's minions by 2. If this was 1, I think this card's okay. Like, at least in the conversation. But if you just plot out the mana of this, it's 2 mana, so it costs 2. If your opponent's only holding 2 minions, which is not that many, but 2 minions, you gave them 4 mana. That means you paid 6 mana, essentially, to gain 10 armor, which is terrible.
Again, it's minions. It's only minions, not spells. There's plenty.
Yes, if it was spells, it'd be like, I mean, laughable.
Then I would agree
it'd be Millhouse, but like.
The reason I'm saying to you this card is not the worst in Blizzard is because I think there is a slight chance if I were to put a number on my prediction, I'd say there's a 30% chance we see this in Control Warrior.
0. I can't. And 10 armor's not even that good. Like, if you really want 10 armor, play 2 Ironhides.
Yeah, I mean, the Ironhide comparison is valid. I don't think I think it's one of the weakest cards we've seen so far, but it's not that bad.
I don't know. I think this card is laughable. I mean, we'll see. I've been wrong before, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think this. I can't see how this card sees play. All right, moving on to the neutral cards that have been announced. We have the Boon Mare. I did not see this card. I'm looking at it for the first time right now. It is a 7 mana 5/5. Battlecry, give a friendly minion +4/+4 in taunt. Cute pack filler. This card's not going to see play.
Arena.
Sure, it's good in arena, but it's an arena pack filler. That's fine. If you have the board, it's good, but like every card in Hearthstone is good if you have the board.
Buff Paladin, maybe?
No. There's better things to do on turn 7. Next up, especially, put it this way. If Don Honcho doesn't see play, how does this see play?
Sure.
Next up, we have did we talk about the Shower Glaive Digger?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was the last time. We talked about Tickling of Admiration. Next up, we have the Nerubian Unraveler. 6 mana 5/5, spells cost 2 more. In the right deck, this card's very strong.
Yeah, it's like a worse Lotheb, but I think it's very strong. 6/5/5, okay. You need a good enough effect to back it up. I think spells cost 2 more. Could be that. I think it's a very good way to throw off your opponent's curve a little bit.
Yeah, in the right deck, this card's very powerful. The problem is there's a lot of decks in Hearthstone that just can't support this because they're so spell dependent. But
yeah.
Buff Paladin, their hand buff Paladin. This card is very good.
Yes.
Not buff Paladin, not the quest deck. That card, then it's terrible. But Next up, we have the how do you say that?
Corpse Taker.
Corpse Taker. Well, I could not read that to save my life. Cory, am I wrong that this card is like insanity?
It's now. Well, now I can finally say it. Welcome to the most broken card they have released so far.
All right, I need to look something up. Wicker Flame Burn Bristle. So Wicker Flame Burn Bristle is a 3-mana 2/2 Taunt Divine Shield lifesteal. This card is a 4-mana 3/3 Taunt Divine Shield lifesteal in Paladin. What am I missing here?
This card broken in Shaman if you run Windlord. Broken. Paladin, it's going to be very good.
If you have Wicker Flame, it gets all three right off the bat, just because of Wicker Flame.
Yep.
Unless you've drawn it, I guess.
Drawn what? No.
If you drew
your deck, yeah. If your deck has, okay.
But then,
well,
all you need is Tyrion, because then it gets Taunt Divine Shield.
But would it? Wait, if you draw it, because is it saying just if it's been in your deck?
It's if it's in your deck, because if you like Reno works if you've drawn all of your duplicates.
Okay. Nevertheless, absolutely, in my opinion, this is a broken card.
I'm terrified of this card. I don't know.
And like, it's gonna be so hard to deal with. And like, this is right before the mid game starts. It's not easy to remove something with like Divine Shield and like.
Thank the gods this doesn't say charge. Could you imagine?
Oh no, that would be so stupid. That'd be so stupid. The only thing this gets hard counter, actually two cards. Shadow Word Pain, and the dragon, the one that removes it if you're holding a dragon.
Isn't oh yeah, Bookworm's still in the game. Yeah, but no one plays. No, Bookworm's gone. Well, Bookworm was League of Explorers.
Excuse me, Mark. No, it's not. I'm still playing. I played Dragon Priest. Yep.
What set was Bookworm in?
I think it was the 2 sets ago.
Oh, it was in One Night?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was in One Night. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that Bookworm was still in the game. That's cute.
I actually play Dragon Priest. Helped me get the legend when I got the legend. It was one of the decks I used.
Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, I don't know why this card is really.
Well, actually, I actually am thinking about it. It really gets badly countered by Priest. Like, I'd be terrified if I faced a Priest. I'd be terrified to play this on turn 4. Terrified.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad against Priest. Whatever.
But I'm not saying it's
Wicker Flame Burn Bristle.
I'm not putting this in my deck because there's a chance I might get Shadow Word Pain. I'm just saying keep in mind that it's not as broken as like we're saying it is. I'm just saying like.
I mean, maybe it's not as good as I'm thinking. Maybe 4-mana 3/3 is not as good.
It's definitely going to see play.
I just think if Wicker Flame is seeing play, and in Paladin this is just a 1-mana increase on Wicker Flame, I don't know. This card seems pretty incredible to me.
It's going to be seen in Shaman. It's going to be seen in Paladin. Absolutely.
Yeah. And next up, did we talk about Prince? Yes, we talked about the 2-mana one, but we have not talked about the 3-mana one. Prince Taldaram, 3-mana 3/3. If your deck has no 3-cost cards, transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion. I like the design on this card.
I'm going to say what I said about 3 other cards this set. We need to see how metas shape up for this card. There might be circumstances where this can work, and I think there's a chance you might be able to use this with Syndergosa, and you could, it'd be neat. It'll be neat if you could play it with Syndergosa the next turn, but I don't know.
I'm not seeing it. Barnes seems like so much better for this kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It's a 3-cost card that probably can't be played on turn 3 because, like, there's nothing you're not getting anything of true value as a 2-drop. And then on top of that, you need to run no other 3-drops, which is really hard to do. And then on top of that, you need to, like, pair this with, like, a 6-cost card. Like, if Sylvanas was in the game, this would be really good. If, like, I guess you could play this with Karen, but I don't know. I'm kind of not too high on this.
There's things that, I mean, like, just looking back through this, like, funny enough, this could be played with the uh, the corpse taker. Like, if you think about it, because if you make a copy of it, you're gonna get all those abilities with it too. But like, then you just get fine. You then turn 7, you just get like another 3/3 with like taunt divine shield or something. So yeah, I can't see it really.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not yet, but I would not. Again, I will say I will hold my judgment, and even if it's not like this set, I could see it being played eventually before it gets rotated out.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. We've seen a lot of cards that are kind of in this similar vein of like take something on the field and copy it, and then a lot of them are not very good. Like, what is it? What was the priest card from last set?
Huh?
The 3-mana 2/3.
What did it do?
3-mana 2/3. Summon a 1/1 copy of a minion on the board.
Shadow caster or something.
No, Shadowcaster is the rogue 5/5. I don't know. Whatever that priest card is, that card doesn't really see play, and I feel like that's even better than this because like you don't have to run no 3-drops.
Yep.
All right, so that's gonna wrap up all of the cards that have been announced, right? You going through everything?
Yep. So we're caught up. I'm still disappointed. I reserve my right to change my mind, but I am a lot. I'd say my impressed to not impressed ratio. I'd say I am 15% impressed and 85% unimpressed.
I've been impressed by like 3 cards. I don't know.
Yeah,
So far, not so great. We'll see. There's still a long way to go. We still have over 100 cards to be revealed. We still have all of the hero cards that are not Hunter to be revealed. So very long way to go. I don't want to say I'm like really super negative at this point.
No,
However,
it's just like I'm confused. I'm like, I feel like.
Wait, did we talk about the Warlock card, the legendary?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, Blood Queen.
5-mana, 1/6 lifesteal. Has +1 attack for each card you've discarded this game.
Nope.
No.
Again, I gotta see more of the set, but unless you could get cards that return discarded cards back to your deck or hand, or you could get effects that interact with your hand that make it say you cannot discard this card. This card, Warlock, just doesn't make sense to play versus a better. Even like, I wouldn't play discard over Zoo. Like, if you're gonna play Warlock and you want like a more aggressive deck, play Zoo. And then it's less RNG based, and you're okay. But like, unless you can interact with your hand or return cards back to your deck or hand, this doesn't make any sense. It's just too RNG based.
Yep, agreed. All right, so with that, we are done with all the cards that are being announced. I'm sure we will be back next week. It seems like they're releasing cards pretty regularly, so we'll probably wait a week for a good another 10
so
or so
everyone
cards.
that listens, you got Monday, you're gonna get Game of Thrones. Tuesday, record for Avatar, and then Wednesday or Thursday, you're gonna get or Hearthstone content.
So Avatar will be released probably on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'm trying to make sure those get out as quickly as possible. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on social media. Everything will be in the description. But we are on @woo_pod on Twitter. Check out our website. Check out the Game of Thrones show. Obviously, that'll be next door if you click on the channel here. So that's cool. And come check out our Avatar show on SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcasts because that's really fun. So with that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.